Many of you have been asking me, Jackie, how do you get started in the permanent makeup business? So today we're going to be breaking down the first steps that you'll need and what's legally required in majority of the states. Hey everyone, my name is Jacqueline, the owner of Slay Bay Salon, also known as Beauty by Jackie on Instagram. I have been in the beauty industry for 8 years now, and I'm a licensed PMU artist and instructor. I'm super excited to finally be sharing my knowledge with y'all. And yeah, by the end of this video, you'll know the exact roadmap to starting your PMU career right away. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so step one, training and certification. So the importance of choosing a licensed and reputable trainer is very, very important and is pretty much what's going to start you up when you're starting your permanent makeup career. So you want to make sure that you're finding a amazing trainer that's going to pretty much going to offer all of the things that you're looking for. So when you're choosing your instructor, these are a good few tips that you should be looking for when you're making that decision. A good training should include models, lifetime support, sanitation, business tips. These are a good few key points to keep in mind when you're searching for an instructor within your area or if you're looking to travel out of your specific state. So for example, when I first started in my career, I wasn't sure exactly what I was looking for. I didn't really even know what permanent makeup was in general, so I had no idea what to look for in an instructor myself. After I took my training, I pretty much left with all services. I learned how to do lip blush, I learned how to do ombre brows, microblading, and eyeliner. I didn't have the best models at the time. A lot of my models had a lot of mature skin, example for like the eyeliner, which completely freaked me out. So I didn't have the best experience. So whenever I have my students come in and train with me, I always try and make sure that they do leave with good models for their portfolio. And even if we are going to work on mature skin, I make sure that it's still manageable enough for them to see how it works on mature skin and for them to still leave comfortable enough, not feeling as scared, because that's something that I did leave with. I was so terrified. So those are good things to make sure that you ask before you do book that training. Step two is licensing and requirements. In the state of Texas, you are required to work under a tattoo license from the health department, and that's like the most important piece to actually getting started in the permanent makeup business here in Texas. Sometimes if you find a studio that already has a tattoo license, you can work under theirs, but majority of the time you will most likely have to buy your own. So along with the bloodborne pathogen certification, the tattoo license does expire every 2 years. So you just want to make sure that you do keep up to date with the renewal process for those two specific certifications and licensing. So I'm actually going to link the bloodborne pathogen link here down below just so that you can click it and receive your bloodborne pathogen as well. Another thing that is very important is the health department permit license. So just depending on your state, majority of the time when you call the city, they will give you all of the requirements and regulations that are needed in order for you to provide this service. So as long as you're keeping in touch with your local city, they will give you all of the information that is needed. So the local city, county regulations, and zoning inspections. For example, here I am located in Pasadena, Texas. We don't have any kind of zoning regulation here specifically. On the city of Pasadena, their website does have a no zoning permit. So when I did apply for my tattoo license, all I did was send that over to them and they approved me just by sending them that there's no zoning within my area. So like I said, every city is different. So just make sure that you do contact them. Always have all of their information on their website. The renewal requirements are, again, the bloodborne pathogen does expire every year, so just making sure that you're keeping up to date with that. My personal experience with getting all of the permits and licensing has been fairly smooth just because I have done it for quite a while now. Even throughout the first years of starting the business was very smooth just because, again, I kept in contact with all of the health inspectors, the city, and they pretty much just guided me and told me exactly what was needed and required. And all I did was send that over to them, just kept in contact, and everything pretty much went smooth with the health inspections and permits and licensing. So just again, make sure that you are keeping in touch with everybody just so that you know the exact information that you're going to need. Step 3 would be setting up your business. So these are all the fun things to getting your business started. Along with learning the service, you do want to make sure that you're set up on the business side of things. Making sure that you do have a business name, LLC, or a sole proprietorship. So the difference between a LLC and a sole proprietorship is that a LLC will pretty much take care of you a lot better. Just in case someone wants to come and sue you and your belongings, you'll be protected. As for a sole proprietorship, even though this one's a little more simple to get set up, if someone comes and sues you, you and your personal things would be at stake. So that's a little bit of a difference between the two. You do want to make sure that you have a bank account separately used solely for business as well. That was one of my first mistakes when I first started. I did not have a business bank account, so during tax season it was very messy for me to reorganize what was personal and what was business. So make sure that you get that set up right away. You also want to make sure that you have insurance for your business. That's also very, very important. So make sure that you have your insurance set up. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I am going to go ahead and link the ones that I am currently using, and you'll be able to check those out yourself as well to see if maybe they work for you. So picking your first studio or where you're going to work. So this is also really, really exciting, obviously, and it can be a little bit nerve-wracking because you're like, oh my gosh, like, what's the next step after I learn this specific technique? Like, I want to put it to play, I just don't know where, right? So you want to make sure that you look at your options. So do you want to start in a salon? Do you want to start in a suite first? Do you want to start home-based? If you're going to go ahead and start home-based, you want to make sure that, again, you keep up with the city and you ask them, hey, I learned this service, I'm looking to start from home. What are the requirements to get that started, if it's even possible? Because in some states, you do need to work in an actual establishment. Essential startup supplies. This is, again, something you want to make sure that you're looking out for when you're choosing your instructor. You want to make sure that they are going to provide you with supplies to begin. I always provide my students with a kit that includes the tattoo machine, needles, pigments, all of my favorite tools to get started. After they complete class, they're able to take that home with them. Another thing that I do for them as well is that in my student manual, I do have links to where to get more supplies after they run out from the stuff that's in their kit. So like I said, just make sure that you do keep in touch with your instructor to make sure, like, hey, after I run out of the supplies that I was given, where can I go and purchase more? Okay, we're into step 4. So marketing and attracting clients. So this is a big one that you do want to keep up with. Sometimes it can be a little bit draining, and although it does suck sometimes to have the energy to try and get the energy to make content, it is a very important piece because we live in a world today where social media is everywhere and at the reach of our hands. So we always want to make sure that you are keeping up with the latest trends and trying to just communicate within your audience so that you can continue to grow your following and your clientele. So your social media presence, again, is very, very important. Instagram, TikTok, those for me personally are the ones that have brought me a lot of clientele and followers. So you do want to make sure that you're keeping up on posting regularly, but you want to make sure that you're posting content that's worth watching. So obviously before and after pictures are also very, very important to have on your page, but healed results are also very, very important because to a lot of potential clients, when they go to your page and they see what they look fresh off the needle, sometimes can be a little scary for them because they're maybe a little bit more bold and they don't understand the process. They don't understand that they are going to fade 20 to 40%. So just make sure that you do have healed results so that people can go to your page and see what they look like fresh and what they look like healed. Because again, if they're more of like a natural client, they're most likely going to want to see how they look like when they heal. So just keep in mind that your healed results are also very important. I always keep in touch with my clients like every 4 to 8 weeks during the touch-up time frame, I'll reach out and say, hey, like, how are your brows looking? Can you please send me healed results? I'd love to see how they look. And most of the time they'll send them over or even just tag you. Another thing that I do as well is that I always tell them if they tag me in any kind of selfie, I will give them a discount for their touch up, which is also really good for you, so that when their followers see their picture, they're like, oh my gosh, like her eyebrows look so amazing. Who did that? They'll click on your tag and then you'll gain followers and even potential clients. So I'll always reach out. They'll send me a picture. I'll post it on my page again because your clients are going to want to see what they look like healed, because to some, they could look a little bold fresh off the needle. Okay. Another thing that I have done as well is I will offer model rates. Okay. This is something that has worked for me out of the years that I've done this, is always carry your business card. Like, it's a little bit of an old school trick, but always make sure you have something you can just quickly hand out with your information on it. So I have met so many people, like at the store, when I go to like a restaurant or the gym, things like that. Like, I always got them with me, because if I ever see someone who I would love to have and showcase my work, I'm like, hey, and I'll stop them. That's another thing that you want to do, is you do want to make sure that you break out of your shell, because you want to talk to people. You want them to feel beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, you are so gorgeous. I do offer this service. If you're ever interested or even have thought about it, I would love to have you as a model for my page. And I'll hand them a card. They'll usually just laugh and say, oh my gosh, thank you. And then I'll get a follow later throughout that day. Most of the time, they've always turned into a client. So make sure that you do break out of your shell if you are a little bit more shy, because that is another thing that's going to stop you from growing your business. So make sure that you are posting yourself, do an introduction, do funny videos, funny trends. I always push my students to follow other artists as well, just so that you can kind of get some inspiration off of them as well. Obviously, you want to be creative and you want to be yourself, but again, there's nothing wrong with keeping up. That's what trends are. You want to make sure that you are keeping up with trends and twisting it in your own way to make it still your own style, but still within the trend. So just make sure that you are keeping up. Like I said, it can be a little bit draining, but it is very worth it to make sure that you are keeping up on your social media. We're into step 5, mindset. Mindset is so important. So PMU is more than just eyebrows. It's customer service, branding, confidence. It's more than just offering a service to a client. You are your brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're walking into a store, when you're walking into the gym, when you're walking anywhere, you pretty much are your business card. So you want to make sure that you always have a great attitude, even on days where you probably don't feel like it. You always want to make sure that you have a smile on your face, that you just pretty much represent your brand. Okay, I know it can be draining, trust me, I understand, especially on days where maybe you had a bad day or you just don't feel good. Just keep in mind though that that is who you are. You're a business owner, you are your brand. So when people have an encounter with you, you want to make sure that they have a good one, because you are your business, right? Don't compare your day 1 to someone's year, to someone's year 5. Like, build slowly, stay consistent, and your business will sure enough grow. So that is something that I always tell my students, is that you can take the course by like the best instructor in the world, and they'll give you the best supplies, they'll give you the best knowledge. You can leave class with a ton of, a ton of knowledge, but if you're not putting that knowledge to use, then it's not going to do anything for you. So make sure that you pretty much stay consistent with practicing. Okay, practice makes perfect. But you also want to make sure that you throw yourself in there. That's something that I did when I first started. I was literally thrown into the fire right away. I was like, my instructor was like, okay, here's your model, and she would step off and do her own little thing, and I just had to sometimes fend for myself. And even though like that's a little scary at first, like for your instructor to just kind of step away, like I do appreciate her for it, because I feel like she trusted me enough to just kind of figure it out almost, you know. But I mean, you learn from your mistakes as well. So although practice does make perfect, you do want to make sure that you put that practice to play. So let's go ahead and do a little recap. You want to make sure that you find a good trainer. Do your research. It's something that is definitely going to start you off in the right direction if you choose a great instructor. Licensing. You want to make sure that you contact your local health department just to ask, hey, what is the regulations and permits, licensing, all of that good stuff required for me to provide the service. Because again, every state is a little different. Your business setup. Make sure that you set up your LLC or your sole proprietorship, and then make sure you do have a business bank account and your insurance to make sure that you are taken care of. Marketing. Sure that you are keeping up with the trends, that you're keeping up with posting your before and afters. Sometimes when you're getting started, you can get a little nervous and even forget to take a before picture. I'm guilty of that. It's happened to me before, but make sure that you're taking that very, very serious. Your consent form and your before and after pictures is what I tell my students is the most important pieces to starting the service. Mindset over everything, okay? Make sure that you stay consistent. Make sure that you keep practicing. Don't, like I said, don't compare your journey to someone else's journey. You have to focus on yourself. And as long as you're staying consistent and as long as you're staying true to being positive and just practicing and putting your all into it, I promise you that your business is going to grow. But if you're ready to dive in a little deeper, go ahead and comment down below what state you're located, or feel free to DM me directly to have a little bit more of a one-on-one conversation. I'd love to help you get set up within your state. And obviously, if you're in Texas, go ahead and send me a message as well, because I'm actually looking to build a team of hardworking and just very dedicated entrepreneurs here within the Slay Bay team. So we have a place for you here. I want it to be your home away from home. So if you're interested in putting your PMU services to play, I would absolutely be honored to work with you. So go ahead and shoot me a DM if you're interested at all. We are hosting private tours as well. So if you're looking to get maybe a little bit more of a feel for joining the team, I would love to set that up. So yeah, just go ahead and message me, please. Please. Oh my gosh, okay. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this video helped you in some sort of way. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.